let's finish off the obligatories of Ruggers. We'll talk about Gloucester in a bit. Let's finish off with the Lions, and the game against Argentina would have already been played, so there could be injuries and stuff like that. But as it stands, and we'll just go back and forth.
Yeah.
What's your pack?
Genji.
I went the same. Tell me why.
Well,
Ahead of Porter, even though he was wicked in the
because we used to
UIC
fight our way
final.
out of college dorms together. Normally me and him fight each other. I still never lost to him. He'll say I have, but no, I just think what he brings is something very different. I don't think you get many loose heads that have got what he's got, and he's also an incredible leader. People probably don't realise how good of a leader he is, because of the persona he gets, because of the aggression, because of the gnarliness, if you like, of Genji. That's Ellis at his best, but behind closed doors on a pitch in a group. Like when I was captain of England, I honestly thought he was going to be the captain, but what he did to help me was huge. He is a very, very good leader in terms of getting to boys, bringing a group together. Brilliant at it.
Yeah, I went for Genji as well for them reasons. When I look at the Lions pack, quite quiet. So Tyburn, quiet.
Yeah.
Jack Conan, a bit more captain, but goes about his business quite quietly. Marrow's a quiet captain, and they're all quiet.
Yeah.
But you look at Genji, even with the Lion stuff that's coming out now, whether or not it's the imagery or videos, you see he's
in
one
the mix,
inside the chain,
Yeah.
the circle, talking.
He'll put himself in front of anything. Like
Good
he's not shy. He'll walk towards something as well, which is what you want in the front row, didn't you?
Hooker's obvious.
Dan
Sheehan, he's head and shoulders above, and the rest of them are world class.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah.
different class.
He is a different class, and to come back from what he did in the space he did, and then come back and play how he did straight away. Like I've done an ACL. When the surgeon tells you you're not going to be the same player you are in 18 months, he's somehow come out better.
Tight head.
It's tough, isn't it? There's a few injuries and stuff. I think I probably would go with Stu. I think he's added to his game with the carrying side of it. You look at him stepping boys in the Six Nations, and he's probably fairly fresh because the way him and Dutoy rotate. That's who I'd go with.
Yeah, he was standout. Marrow and Tyburn.
Yeah.
Jack Morgan.
Got to give Tommy a friend as well in the team because Tommy's playing 9.
That's where I was going to go. So Jack Morgan,
Yeah.
Jack Conan, and
Tom Curry.
Okay. And then you've gone for Thomas Williams at 9.
Best player I played with.
That's what you said.
Yeah.
So you said 2 things to me about rugby in the time I've been retired, which is a while, and I left Sarries, so I'm now a Gloucester fan.
Yeah. You're not. You're a Sarries fan. I listen to the pod every week. You and the other idiot who hates Gloucester.
He doesn't hate Gloucester.
No, he does.
I don't
He
hate
does.
So out of all my teams I was in,
He just wants to gig at Leicester.
Gloucester, yeah, he's
He
lost
wants
that.
to keep earning money.
He's lost
Has
it.
he?
Yeah, he's been sacked.
Terrible at it.
Gloucester was my favourite club to be at, but Leicester gave me my life.
And I understand when you both talk about Leicester, you both talk about Leicester the way I would talk about Gloucester.
Yeah.
The chance. They gave you the chance.
Sarries gave me the memories.
The money.
Both.
Both give
The
me
2
them.
M's.
We'll go with it.
The 2 M's. 2 voice notes you've given me. One was that when I asked you what it was like playing against Leinster, do you remember what you said?
No.
You said it was like playing in like you were Gloucester in slow-mo.
Yeah. It was,
and
it was honestly horrific.
They were, it was like a computer game.
Yeah.
It was just a cheat code.
They were unbelievable.
Yeah, see, that's one thing that you said. And then we were chatting about Scrum Masters because we love our ruggers. And you said that he's the best
player I played with.
Best player
Yeah.
you've played with. Because that's a big shout as well.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's phenomenal. He's a great player. But I just, with the Scrum Half, I'm like, how good is he? But with Gloucester, you've seen him on the front foot.
I think
as
as you see it day to day, what he does in training, there's just stuff that you like, how's he done that? The passes, the range of passing is beyond anything I've ever seen. But then also his vision and the fact he's a miserable bastard, you'd love him. You would love him.
He seems like my kind of man.
Honestly, miserable bastard, and then on the piss, starts telling everyone what he really thinks.
Oh, thank gosh.
Great.
Yeah. He's a road man as well, isn't he? He's from the streets.
Proper from the streets, yeah. He
boy.
is. Yeah, he is humble as I like, but he is unbelievable at rugby and makes it look so easy.
Owen Farrell said he thinks the best player in the world. He said there was 2. Peter Steph-Toy.
Yeah.
And I had to push him on this. And then there was a scrum half. Who was it?
Ben Spencer.
No.
Did he say Thomas?
No.
Not Antoine?
Not Antoine.
Gibson Park?
Yeah.
Did he?
He said Jameson Gibson Park, yeah.
Really?
which I was interested about.
Yeah.
But not, again, we're talking about a world-class player.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
then we're talking about Owen Farrell.
What were his...
He said about the ultimate team, man.
Okay.
He said the way that, and he might have insight. I imagine him,
Yeah.
him and
His
his
old
dad.
man, he's the best player in the world.
So that makes me think that,
Okay.
well, if they're at the dinner table talking about
Yeah.
James and Gibson Park, but I mean,
That's interesting.
if he's fit,
Yeah, well, yeah, because JVP been called up.
which again was a surprise for me.
Yeah, I was...
There
well, I
must be,
thought-
there's something going on.
I don't know.
There must be. I think Ben Spencer's better. I'm happy
He
to
was
say it.
incredible all year, wasn't he? Holds the team together. Maybe still pissed.
Maybe.
Hopefully he is.
Maybe something's happened. Thomas Williams, who's 10? Weird you paused.
Yeah,
But interesting you paused.
yeah.
But I know why you paused.
I've always said that I would pick Finn Smith, because Finn plays for Bath, so I can't really pick him. Nah, Finn Russell is an incredible player. I just really like what Finn Smith does in terms of a system, team. And I know everyone says, "Oh, yeah, Finn can play in a system." That's clear. There's a system at Bath. Like, it's clear to see. I don't know. I would really struggle with that.
It is interesting you say that. I had a feeling, and I have a feeling about Finn. I think Finn is world class, but I just feel as if there's something, not from my point of view, but from other people's point of view, that for that reason, the system part of it,
Yeah,
and bringing a team together like that. I think he starts the first test.
yeah. I agree. But I think you look at, if no one knows what's going to happen, right, in terms of the system, the plan, what they do, but you're going to look at Ireland, you're going to look at Leinster, two of the most system-derived teams where the system overtakes everything. So you do what the system does, the system wins your games, the individuals will look incredible in the system. That's where I think Finn Smith is brilliant. What Saints, obviously, with Vesti, have a very, very good system in terms of attack. Trying to analyse them is a nightmare because they have stock plays, but then the individuals can create stuff from the stock plays. And that's where I think he's brilliant. He's brilliant at Saints because of the individuals they have. Well, he's in the Lions. They're all brilliant individuals. You know, he's going to have room to find these incredible players. And I think he could go to another level of that.
RG Snyman, when I was chatting to him and I said about the differences between the South African players and the Ireland players, he said the biggest difference is... I said size, and we got onto size, of course. He said Ireland is systematic. Everything, it's strategy, it's systems, it's playbooks, it's the detail around that, which... I'm for. I get that, and like you said, when you played against Leinster, it was like playing in slow mo, and they were the cheat code.
Yeah.
But for me, I know we're talking about 10 here. I'm kind of segueing, but it was interesting because that is Andy Farrell, and that's Leinster, and then
that's
is
you presume that's. But
all
then
the way
they might
through.
not be. They could go. We really like how Northampton beat them. How do you do that? And Finn's gone, well, we just played from everywhere. Well, let's do that. But does that work at test level? I don't know. I played against USA and Canada, which we were playing sevens at one point.
There.
It was Joe Cockney-Singer was just bowling boys out the way. Marcus Smith, Stephen.
He got more in him, that lad.
It was nuts.
Joe Cockney-Singer. Yeah, he's got more. He frustrates the life out of me.
He was honestly dispatching people, and then Marcus gets whipped off to go to the Lions at half time. That was in the one game.
Yeah. Anyway, we keep flip flopping.
Yeah.
That's on me.
10.
I would go Finn Russell
Because you're Scottish.
because I'm Scottish till I die.
Slash.
You're going.
I'm gonna
Asian.
go. Yeah, I'm gonna go Finn Smith.
All right, centres.
Oh, it's tough, isn't it? I think Tuipulotu has to play. From what I don't know a lot about back play at all, but speaking to the boys when we were talking about, this comes up on Bus Talk all the time, doesn't it? When you go into games and stuff, and apparently explained to me that he's an all-court centre, carry, pass, kick, everything. So I think he has to go. 12.
I've gone Sione at 12. I'd love to say Bundy as well.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking. But then is it too?
They could play 12, 13. Sione's played 13. I think Bundy is 2 years past his prime, but is still unbelievable.
Yeah.
But just Sione's he's on fire. I know he's been injured, but watching
before
him
that
move,
though, he was.
Yeah.
And
the snippets of him, the way he moves, his short kicking game.
It's just everything. Like the little one at the line, like you think if someone can, it's nothing worse, especially off a line out where you've been out there and you see a 12 and you think, right, this bloke's going to run straight over me. You bite. I did it at Bath. I had Alfie Barbary opposite me. I was like, this kid's going to carry. Bit in, and they've gone out the back. Milmu was under the sticks, and I was like, that's me. But the way Tuibelotti does it is that same thing. Carry, boom. Big hole, someone's through it. And he can do that at the highest of levels.
We agree on Sione.
Yeah. 13?
I would personally go Hugh Jones.
Yeah.
Because of the 10, 12,
Very
13.
Scottish, your team.
English, Scottish.
Yeah.
South African Hugh Jones.
Yeah.
The Stormers. I think with Hugh Jones, you're getting a better attacking threat than Ringrose. I don't know what the speed stats are on them. I think Gary Ringrose is a better defender. But I think the 13 of how they'd want to play, I imagine, if it is systematic, if Josh van der Veer plays at 7, if they're trying to get to that edge, and also with the back 3 that I think will play aren't out and out rapid.
Yeah.
I think you need someone that just has absolute wheels. That's why I've gone for him. But I understand if Ringrose.
Yeah, no,
or even Freeman.
I'll be the same. Yeah, I was trying to think who else would be there, but I think they've obviously got a very good partnership as well. That's proven. Yeah, it could feasibly be that Scottish 10, 12, 13. Yeah.
There we go. We're agreeing.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Yeah.
We'll finish on the back 3.
I'd have Low on one wing because he's got a massive boot as well. Freeman on the other wing. And Kinghorn at fullback.
Almost the same. Well, we are the same on that, but I mean across the board.
Yeah.
I just don't know what the players. Is he fit?
That'd be the only thing. Would you play Hugo Keenan if not, or would you go with Marcus Smith?
Hugo Keenan, mate.
Yeah.
I don't know why he doesn't get enough.
Yeah. I when we played those boys, it was like, this bloke's a freak.
When you look at where the games are won and test matches now,
yeah,
especially the finals of the Prem, URC was different, right? Because
it is different.
Because Leinster were winning 22 points to 0 effectively after.
They were just angry.
Yeah, so easily won that. But the close games where England have played South Africa, the final, Ireland, New Zealand, the kicking game is massive. And Hugo Keenan, if they've not gone Freddie Stewart, but if they've got a Joseph Suai-Leahy, a Hugo Keenan in the air, one of the best in the business, you have to have that. I'm not saying that Blair isn't, but he isn't as good as Hugo Keenan in the air.
No.
But he's out.
He'd be a lot bigger though, Blair, wouldn't he?
6'4".
Yeah.
Rangy.
Should be.
Yeah. Mate,
stick Freddie Stewart back there.
You know what? Maybe because maybe people don't kick to Scotland as much, and you've not seen it because of the counter-attack.
He's just such a good running threat.
Yeah.
He's such a good running threat that maybe he doesn't have to kick it as much.
Yeah.
And obviously in France, it's do what you want.
Yeah. Well, there's ours. Nailed it.
Yeah. If that's it, I'll be impressed.